Okay, so we're going to have two parts to the scheduling notes here. First, we're going to go through what's going on for this week, and then we got information today about what's happening for next month's, scheduling. So we call it wholesale, whatever. But don't sure when that will start. Probably in a couple weeks yet, but we'll get some information of what the plan is for next month. So, but let's get into this first. Show you this. So terminology we're going to be using tonight. Order banks, that is where the orders are placed, stock and retail orders. What's a retail order? That is a customer placed order. So when we talk about retails only, I mean, we're talking about you guys, customers. Customers placed orders. And stock orders. Stock orders are orders placed by the dealer for stock. So we'll talk about allocations later, but get into that for lot. Those are for lot inventory. Priority codes. What is a priority code? I've had people actually tag me recently on social media and such. A priority code is the priority that a dealer is giving to the orders. They can give them anywhere from 03 now to 19 for your retail orders, because customer orders always looked at first, 20 to 80 for any stock orders, and then lower the better, right? So if you have something that's an 03, it's going to be looked at before a 19 will be. 19 is a default. So if some of you are like, mine's a 19, is that bad? I'm like, well, not if they just left everybody's as a default, which is 19. It really depends within the dealership. Scheduling, that's when Ford schedules an order for production date in the future. So when we talk about this, hey, they're scheduling this week for production dates in this time frame. That's how that works. So they're scheduling, taking an order to schedule for a production date in the future. It's kind of like scheduling a dentist appointment, right? You schedule it now for 6 months from now. Anyway, production dates, when they do get scheduled, they'll be scheduled to the week, sometimes to the day, and eventually that week will turn into a specific day of the week that'll be built, which is when Ford plans to build your vehicle or your order. Allocations, Ford gives dealers allocations to schedule their orders. A dealer needs an allocation to schedule an order in the order bank, whether it be a retail or a stock order. And the dealer earns allocations from their sales for each model within their region, or whatever way they decide to set up their allocations for that model. Constraints, that's an option that may be in short supply or may take longer to build, which is why they can't do as many. Capacity, that is what their planned production rate is for a given, usually a trim, but sometimes a motor as well. We'll see that in the Maverick, and sometimes even an option, a different package. Job 1 and job 2, those are the production runs within the model year. So they usually split into those two different time frames, because sometimes they need to make adjustments in the production because of they either found a better way of doing something, maybe a cheaper way of doing something, or maybe they need to make some changes because they're running out of color, or they're running out of something that's in a package and they need to take it out for the second job run. Balance out or build out is what they're starting to call it now, is the end of production for that option or model. We're going to actually hear that quite a bit tonight on some of these vehicles, because they are finishing out and they're building out this next month for 2023 model year. So there you go. All right. And if you have any questions about any kind of the scheduling information, tag at, I put it down here right there. So go ahead and tag at Sarah Davis if you have any questions when we go through the scheduling information, and we'll get going here. All right. First off, the Mustang, 24 Mustang. They are doing what they call cleanup scheduling. Cleanup means that they need to clean up if a dealer has allocations not used, they need to clean that up. They want to go into the next month with 0 for each dealer, so they need to make sure they kind of clean up those allocations. A dealer earns a certain number of allocations if the first week that they would schedule within a month, they have, like, a dealer has 5 allocations, but they only have 2 retail orders in there, and they're doing retail only that week. They'll only schedule 2. There'll be 3 left over. So then the next week, maybe they need a certain configuration that they need. Hey, we're doing all EcoBoost. Well, if you don't have an EcoBoost order in there, they won't schedule. So allocation carries over to the next week. And so they want to clean that up. So they're going to try to fulfill those allocations for those dealers, so they don't have to carry those over to the next month. Hopefully that makes sense. Production weeks they're scheduling for is the weeks of October 2nd to the week of October 23rd. Dark horse retail orders should be prioritized ahead of stock orders for specialty allocation. So the way Dark Horse works along with other specialty vehicles is that they are manually allocated. So, if a dealer has a Dark Horse allocation for this week, then Ford would say, hey, you have an allocation. Which order number do you want us to select? And what they're saying here is dealers need to select that retail order. So when you have a customer that wants a Dark Horse order, you need to put that in as a retail order and make sure you're selecting it over a stock one. Now, if you have none, but you have an allocation for a Dark Horse, then you would need to put in a stock Dark Horse order, and then to get to use that allocation. We've actually had this happen a lot on Bronco Raptors. It's back this last month. I think it was a stock one we put in because we didn't have any retail orders or anybody that wanted to put one in. Retail only for the option of GT Performance Package. I believe also the Night Pony package too. And right now, exhaustive availability on the 20-inch premium painted aluminum wheel, which is the optional wheel on your EcoBoost Premium and GT Premium. By the way, the order banks are open up for the Mustang right now, and currently there's 1,011 orders in the order bank for retail orders unscheduled. So, all right. 23 Escape. They are scheduling this week for the week of October 23rd. Or no, actually scheduling through. So that would be anything in October through the week of October 23rd. There you go. And actually maybe even further. So they're going to be scheduling a lot of weeks here for the Escape for 23 because they are finishing up the Escape. So there's 426 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank for the Escape. So, and the order banks for the 24 model year are open for plug-in, hybrid, and gas models. All right, 24 Bronco Sport. They are scheduling for 24 model year. Does say cleanup commitment again for dealers that have allocations not scheduled yet. They are scheduling for build weeks the week of October 16th through the week of October 30th. So that second half is that week of October 16th is when the startup is for the 24 model year on the Bronco Sport. Limited availability on Badlands and Outer Banks. Kind of funny because the next line says exhaust availability for the 17-inch carbonized gray painted wheel that is standard on the Big Bend. So I'm trying to figure out what's left. Outer Bank, Badlands, Big Bend is very limited. So yeah, good luck there. And then late availability is a black appearance package and the four-wheeling pack series as well. Those are both late availability. By the way, there's 279 unscheduled retail orders in order bank. Not very many. I mean, they build 8 or 10,000 a month. And just a little note, freewheeling edition, there's 49 orders in there. So it actually looks like their capacity is 3% for the year, and that's probably because they won't start building it until halfway through the year. And then it looks like they're over capacity at 13%. But really, when you look at it, remember that 13% is based on the 279 orders, which only accounts for 49 orders. They're going to build more than 49, right? 3% of what? 8,000 is much higher than 49. So if you have a freewheeling and you see that, some people are putting these things like this out there. If you see that and you see some of the other stuff, they're not over capacity. They're within capacity on the freewheeling edition. So don't feel like you're not going to get scheduled. You're good. Order banks are open up right now for the 24 Bronco Sport. 24 model year Edge is not scheduling this week. There's currently 151 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank, and you can order a 24 Edge right now. There you go. No constraints. 24 or 23 Bronco. They said in here, and some people actually posted this in the Bronco 6G. What does this mean? I can only imply. Anyway, backfilling week 925. So people ask, what does backfilling mean? I think they've already scheduled into October. So they're having to go back to a week. So more than likely what's happened is because of constraints and parts, they probably moved some Heritage Edition builds back. They pushed those back and delayed those. And that opened up slots for scheduling for those weeks they had. So they're backfilling into those slots is what my take is on that. But again, don't take that. That's just my assumption. It might mean something else, and if it does, and I'm incorrect, please educate me, because I need to know. Base series, Everglades manual transmission, Badlands with optional wheel. Of course, they've been balanced out for 23 model year, because you can't order those. Also, the two-door Heritage and Heritage Limited Edition are being delayed for production and scheduling, so they're not scheduling those either. And then it does say they're pausing accepting orders for the two-door 2024 model year Heritage and Heritage Limited Editions. So again, that's the two doors. Other than that, the order banks are open up for 24 model year. There is a restriction on the shadow black paint on non-Raptors. So you'll have to pick a different paint color if you have a 23 unscheduled order and you want to get it scheduled. Also, limit availability for the wheel 641, which says it's standard on the Heritage. So I guess for your four doors, right? So, and then hardtop is also limited availability and says in all series, but we had all of ours scheduled. Everything we had that scheduled last week was all hardtop, either four door or two door. And then just there's about 11,000 orders, retail orders unscheduled in the order bank. If you're curious, 18% of the unscheduled orders are Heritage Edition, which sounds like a lot. It's 1,985. And I did a little bit of speculation here. So question is, how many? So let's say they can't schedule any more 23s Heritage Editions, so we got to put them in for 24. How many Heritage Editions can they build in 24? And somebody can correct me if my math might be wrong. I think they build about 7,500 a month. And if that's the case, that'd be 2,700 they can build in 24 model year, or in a year. I said that's in a year. So I don't know. Again, speculating there. But 24 model year order banks are open up except for the Heritage two-door Heritage Edition and Heritage Limited Edition. So there you go. I need to take a drink here. 24 model year, or no, 23 model year Explorer. I keep getting off on my model years. They are scheduling this week. Cleanup scheduling, again, filling up those last allocations for dealers that have them. They're scheduling for the weeks of October 2nd through October 23rd. Don't forget about the tow package. So add the Class 4 trailer tow package to all existing and future 23 Explorer ST line, King Ranch, and Platinum orders, and remove the tow package from all existing and future limited 300A orders. And also, Platinums have to be all-wheel drive. So if you have an order in there as a dealer that's two-wheel drive, you have to cancel it and reorder a Platinum four-wheel drive, because you can't just change the body code. You actually have to cancel it and reorder for those stocks, I believe. It says unscheduled orders that are not spec changed to the correct configuration will not be scheduled. So if you have one of those and you don't have the right hitch, whether it be removing or adding, then yours won't be scheduled until you make that change. So dealers, make sure you're doing that. I think we had 4 Explorers we need to make changes. I think they're all stock though. All right. Also, effective back in July, 23 model year Explorer orders configured with the 360-degree camera will be built with a 360-degree camera removal option, 60X, so they can be built without the 360-degree camera. There you go. And then limit availability on the base XLT Sport Appearance Package, 4-wheel drive, and the twin panel moonroof. Exhausted availability for your Class 4 trailer tow hitch, which is why they're making you make these changes to them. And then also exhaust availability for XLT trim, ST line, and that ST high performance package. And the order banks are open up right now for gas models only for 23 model years still.
Okay.
The hybrid has been closed. All right, 24 model year Ranger, no scheduling this week. And don't forget, you have time, since they're not scheduling this week, to make those changes to those FX4 packages. They have to have a running board on them, whether it be a Sport or the Chrome. You need to have that goes with the correct ordering. And don't forget, your Ranger Raptor orders cannot have the DIO spare tire lock. They removed that for this year. Order banks are open up for the Ranger, and there's currently 2,173 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank for the Ranger. And I forgot to mention there's over about 800 on the Explorer. All right. 24 model year Maverick, they are doing cleanup scheduling this week again for dealers that have allocations available. I think actually we have 2 previewing this week.
I think so.
So we have 2 that might get scheduled from us for this week. And they are scheduling for the production weeks of the week of October 16th through October 30th. Exhaust availability for the splash guards. Not surprised. Front and rear. Also, your tonneau cover, hard tonneau cover option 21K. And I've been saying for the last 2 years, don't put those on your order anyway. So that's just proof. All right. There's currently for 24 model year 47,000 orders in the order bank. Not too bad, really. And keep in mind though that'll take about 5 months for those to get scheduled. So there you go. So pretty soon, by maybe halfway through the year, we'll be close to being able to see stock ones and be able to order one and get one in a timely manner. Second half of the year. So there you go. Also, I looked up. Looks like there's about 17,000 XL orders in the order bank. They should be able to build about 27,000, so within capacity there. Also, the hitch. There's 31,000 vehicles with the optional hitch, and their capacity for a full year is 78,000. So don't need to ditch the hitch. Order banks are open up for EcoBoost and hybrid orders. Based on the numbers I can see, there's about 32,000 hybrid orders in the order bank and about 14,000 EcoBoost orders. So there you go. So, and right now production level is, I think, 50-50 between hybrid and EcoBoost, and actually is going to get better next month. That's all I'm going to say for right now. 24 Expedition, no scheduling this week. Don't forget, Platinums will require the optional 22-inch wheel, and we're going to talk about something else that is going to need to be removed for 24 model year that happened last year. Order banks are open up right now for 24 Expedition. There's about 951 orders in the order bank, retail orders in the order bank that are unscheduled. 23 Super Duty. They are scheduling still for 23 model year. So thought they were switching over, but not yet. Looks like next month will be the startup for 24. So they're going to schedule Super Duty this week. There's about 23,000 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. There we go. A lot of constraints. So let's see. When are they scheduled for? Looks like Kentucky is scheduling for the week of September 25th. Ohio is scheduling for the week of October 23rd. There you go. And then limited availability for F450 and F550, and exhaust availability for limited and King Ranch. So it looks like Platinums, you got a chance. Slim, but you got a chance. All right. Limited availability also on the F350 two-wheel drive with the diesel engine chassis, the 168-inch wheelbase for the dually. Also the frame for that's available. It's optional on the F450, F550, and F600 with the 7.3 diesel and the 169-inch dually wheelbase. Also limited availability on the gooseneck dual hitch kit as well as Lariat Ultimate package. So what are they needing? They need XLT orders. Pretty simple. Or Lariat without the Ultimate package is what you need to be looking for if you want to get scheduled. Exhausted availability for the King Ranch wheel, which we already know it's exhausted anyway for the whole trim. Also, many of the different frames. The one that's optional on the F550 and the 600 with the 6.7 and the 7.3 engines with the 145-inch dually wheelbase without the payload package. Also, the frame, HBK frame, that's optional on the F350 two-wheel drive with the 7.3 diesel with this 169-inch wheelbase, as well as the GBK frame that's optional on the F350 two-wheel drives with the 7.3 engine. It says 7.3 diesel. That'd be interesting. It's not 7.3 diesel. So I'm not sure if they mean just the diesel engine or the 7.3 gas, but the 145-inch dual wheelbase as well as a single wheel. And then the 205-inch wheelbase also is exhausted. That's optional on the XL, XLT, 450, 550, 600 chassis cabs. So those chassis cabs are struggling right now on getting produced. Very limited on how many they can do. Also, the 2-wheel drive Dana axle. It's optional on the F450, 550, and 600 with the dually and 4x4 for the pickup and the chassis, or 2-wheel drive for the chassis, I should say. And then also the Dana axle M315 rear that's optional on the F350, 450, and 600 dualies with the 6.7 diesel. That's a diesel engine. There you go. Heavy duty alternator is standard on the XL gas. That one's exhausted right now. So you might want to go to like the dual alternators or something. So you want to make sure you take care of that. Also, the 203-inch wheelbase fuel tank with the low sulfur diesel fuel. Said that right this week. Also, the transfer case for the standard on the F600 4x4s with the 7.3 gas or the 6.7 diesel, and the 193-inch and 205-inch wheelbase for the chassis cabs. So as you can tell, a lot of problems there. Also, exhaust availability on the Tremor off-road package and the fifth wheel hitch kit, the Java interior, the Baja interior. So basically, you need a black interior for your build if you want to get scheduled. Star White's exhausted. Black, Agate Black is exhausted as well. And balanced out for the year is Stone Gray, Azure Gray. So there you go. So you got like silver, carbonized gray, race red, white. I don't know. Anyway, there's another color there I'm missing. So we had to change some configurations on some of our orders just to get scheduled. So there you go. Whew. That's Super Duty. Poor thing. All right. 23 F-150. They are scheduled this week for the production weeks of October 2nd or the week of October 9th. They have about 2,600 orders, unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. Not really a lot of constraints here. I know that like the hybrid is very low production rate here. But otherwise, I don't think there's too much other. Just a reminder that the heated steering wheel is back. And order banks are open up still for 23 F-150, in case you're wondering. We are supposed to be having a broadcast, which we won't be able to talk about some of the information in there, but next week. See how that goes. All right. And then 23 F-150 Lightning. It is scheduling this week for production weeks for the week of October 2nd and October 9th. And then the order banks are open up. We're going to actually talk about that in a second. Part of the Is It True? I just spoiled it. Doesn't show how many orders are in the order bank for that one. There you go. They need orders. Other than the Pro version is not available on the Lightning, but you can order about anything else right now. So 23 model year Mach-E is not scheduled this week. There's only 56 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. And right now you can't order a stock California Route 1. All right. 23 model year Transit Connect van and wagon is scheduled this week for production weeks for the week of October 2nd through the weeks of October 23rd. Order banks are closed on this. It's about 2,600 retail orders in an order bank that are unscheduled. So there you go. No scheduling constraints on either one. We're almost done with Transit Connect, by the way. And then 23 model year Transit, they are scheduled for the weeks of October 16th and the weeks of October 23rd. Well, a lot of constraints on this one too. There's 13,700 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank, which the order banks are closed. They're open for e-transit. And they're open for stock, but they're closed for retail orders. Let's see here if we can go through these. Some of the things to think about: the 3.5 V6 Cyclone, that's $998. Orders needed from dealers with remaining non-BEV, that's e-transit commodity allocation. So if you have an allocation, then they need that engine. Also, the high resolution camera temporarily available for stock orders. Limited availability for these options that I'm about ready to talk about: the high roof jumbo bus, AM/FM radio with the 4-inch multifunctional display, the power sliding door, trail package, heavy duty cargo flooring, 10-way power driver and passenger ebony leather seats, vented wheel arch moldings. Those are all limited availability. Exhausted is the high roof long bus and the 360-degree camera. And completely balanced out means that they're not going to schedule these is the power running boards, the side 60/40 barn doors, all crew van body types, as well as your Transit 350s, heavy duty dually for the cutaway chassis cabs and cargo vans. And not available for stock orders is the 3.5 EcoBoost, because they're going to save those for retails, and the 360-degree camera as well.